Okay, so I made another video um, and I posted it already. I'm gonna go ahead and take that down and delete it because I kind of just made it on a whim. I didn't have very much thought out about what I wanted to get across and record and, remember or share. And I think I had a little time to reflect, even though I haven't, put time to it. I think just in the back of my mind, I've been, I could say this, I could think about this more. And it comes down to two general topics. Two general topics which I barely even alluded to. I just got to my feelings on the matter. So the first I'll record and then I'll stop and then I'll record the other one. First one is about how I deserve to live in peace without harassment, without oppression, without unnecessary restrictions. I do. And I don't feel like I need to explain myself why, but I can go into, I've gone through enough. I have been arrested more than 13 times, I think. It may be just 13, but it could be more. You lose track after a while, believe it or not. And it's really mainly been over stupid shit like the police officer didn't like the way I was talking back to him. I was smart mouthing them or trying to talk law as if I was a lawyer. And other things like I wasn't obeying their orders, even though I have made a point to ask them legal questions that the judges have over time let me know I'm allowed to ask them, such as, is that a lawful order? Why am I being asked to do this? Am I being detained? Am I being detained and asking for the officers or the deputies, mostly deputies, badge number or name has resulted in the most immediate negative response. So that's been the majority of my track record. And it's picked up momentum. It picked up momentum after having, a few of those arrests. The first few were, kind of high profile. First one wasn't, then two were, and I was on the news, and the whole county saw my face, at least whoever watched TV news at that time, local news. And I started getting a track record with the deputies in the sheriff's department, and, they would hassle me. They would run my plates and hassle me. What are you doing in the area? You're not registered to this area. Really classist bullshit like my car looks too poor to be in that neighborhood, even though I was engaged to a girl who lived in that neighborhood and had been seeing her for a year or two. Classist bullshit excuses like, you look like you could be, conducting a robbery. And they would exceed their limits. They would impound my car when it was legally able to stay in that position, in that place, legally parked, away from any houses, on the road, in an allowed parkable spot. They would impound it just to spite me, just to cause more undue pressure, financial and emotional. They would harass me, call me names, poke and prod at me once they saw that momentum was building of, he has a track record. We could, arrest him for this charge multiple times. And the charge was a 148A, resisting arrest, sorry. And it just built up momentum. And they would push the boundaries of what they could do So I've been batoned. I've been, rough handled. But that goes without saying. Uh, I've been maced. I've been tased, and I've been shot with a non-lethal little mini brick rubber bean bag. And that last one almost killed me because I was in a situation that I probably shouldn't have been in. I was in a situation where I had a knife and I thought they were going to shoot me. So I thought the best way to avoid getting shot was to present a threat to myself so that they would try to de-escalate the situation and put me in the hospital. That's, what I assumed would happen if I was a threat to myself, that they would reduce the threat by, talking me down and, putting me in cuffs and putting me in the hospital. Instead, what they did was, because I was holding a knife, they shot at me with a rubber bean bag while holding multiple live ammunition guns against me. I kept asking them, you're pressuring me, you're, threatening me, you're making me feel nervous and threatened, and I feel like if you put your guns away, I could, throw the knife away. And they didn't, and instead they shot me with a non-lethal round, and that non-lethal round, the force of it, caused the knife to go through my chest into my heart. Now I have, scars to prove it. You could still kind of see the mark that non-lethal round left behind, and of course, scar from when they split my chest open, and the tube they put in there to drain fluid and air, and the knife wound itself. So, admittedly, I caused that situation, 60-40. The situation didn't need to be caused in the first place. But I didn't immediately comply. I didn't obey my masters. So I made it worse. But really, they were the professionals who were supposed to be level-headed and trained for this type of thing. And if it was a terrorist with a suicide bomber jacket, they should have been able to talk him down or, disarm him rather than make him blow himself up, which is the parallel here. Through all those arrests and the police hassles, I was under a lot of stress, and I got into arguments about, why my fiance wasn't defending me. She was making the situation worse with her family. And so that situation was just bad on both sides. I've been to therapy now, and I've reached the conclusion that they helped me reach, which was she was the abuser in that situation, but I was not free of fault, and my fault was for not responding in the appropriate manner, and thinking that suffering through it made me more noble. Some sort of ego stroking that I did for myself. I thought I was a better person than her, as long as she acted, in bad ways. If she hit me, I was a better person for not hitting her. But it reached a boiling point, and, it blew up, and part of that blowing up was she acted against me. She put further charges against me, or helped those charges, and I just want to say I don't deserve it anymore. I've been through enough. I've been in a near-death situation. I've been hassled. I've been harassed. I've been humiliated. I've been, I think I've had enough. and I don't deserve to be put through anymore. I deserve a break, a chance at a life. You know, all those legal troubles, they cost money. All those times they impounded my car, all those court fees, all those court dates, having to be there, having to miss work, missing school, dropping out of school. And I just want to be left alone. I just want to be at peace. I want to find safety and be comfortable. Not having to look over my shoulder, not having to fear that I could wind up in another one of those concrete boxes. Please have some compassion. You know who you are.